I wanted to talk about donation drives, Compendium, and SmashGG related stuff. And I think there's a lot of this was brought by the summit. The Smash Summit honestly could get its own video. So I'm just going to talk about like money, crowdfunding, because I feel that we were having a lot of opinions on it, and I think we as a community don't really know where we stand with all the crowdfunding that's happening. So to give context, for Big House 5, it started the trend of running the Compendium, which was to sell items, sell things so that we could raise money. And then if the Compendium hit certain levels, then they would unlock things such as getting a player to the event, or a secondary stream, or replays, or the analyst desk. So all this was actually used to kind of fund the system and to really reinvest into the tournament. So Jungle Guy, for him, it worked out really well. He was really excited that he got a secondary budget to work with. So if you saw that giant backdrop of the Big House 5, that was funded by the Compendium. All those little perks you saw, all the little bonuses, were all from the Compendium. And for him, he was really happy that he had a secondary budget to do things that he couldn't do otherwise with the venue. And this also allows for people who are like the stream monsters, or who really just love watching Melee or Smash 4, but don't really have the time or the means to go to an event, to actively participate and give money to help support it. So it's a really good system in my opinion. I think a lot of people said like, oh, this is a little greedy. Where's the money going? Very, very small percentage of people are saying, oh, Jungle Guy got money hungry, kind of as a joke. But this actually allowed for a lot more budget to go into that. So overall, people loved it. And then we go into the Smash Summit, which was not too long after Big House. And now there's another donation drive. And in this case, it's for getting votes. It's for raising money towards prize pots. It's for people like Toph, Scar, Wife, Brandon, and Phil to fly and get housing and accommodations to the event, to provide commentary and insight, and to add side events, and to have funds for that. And so once again, a lot of the money does get reinvested into the pot. It's not just a random drive where Smash Summit or SmashGG is collecting a lot of money, they're putting it in their pockets, they're robbing the community. And that's what I think stung a lot of people when round 2 of the donation drive happened, where you could quote-unquote pay for votes, which is true. However, even in paying for votes, your money did not have a lot of influence. So if you're a regular tournament goer, you do the fantasy drafts, you get about 10 votes, and then you get like 5 votes for like the first $5. I forget the exact amount, and then you only get a point for every $5 you donate. And the reason why they did that was because they didn't want someone to donate like $10,000 or $2,000 and turn it into a race of who could raise the thousands first. So although they did raise, you know, a lot of money, I think it was around $35,000, it wasn't solely the money that rocked the vote. A lot of it was actually getting people to put in their 10 votes from participating in tournaments. However, throughout this process, a lot of people have made very strong claims against SmashGG and Smash Summit, saying that they're money hungry, that they're greedy, that they're robbing the community. And I just wanted to dispel that notion, because it's like one of the most absurd things I've heard. Just to give context, if you want to do an investigation on yourself, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. If you look at the prize pots and all the money that's going back to the players, the flights, housing, all the side events, and the materials of the goods that they're selling, if you just do a quick calculation, SmashGG and Smash Summit are very in the negative, even though they raised a lot of money, because a lot of it's going back to the players. Granted, it would be nice to have complete transparency over this, but overall, like, if somebody thinks that SmashGG is raking in the money, they really aren't. And so there's like this like weird idea, because SmashGG is essentially 6 Smashers in NorCal that were also programmers that invested their own money because they believed that they could help a lot of the community needs. And so they formed that so they could build tools for the community. But somehow by becoming a website, becoming what looks like not a very personalized individualistic entity, they're like seen as like the esports spectrum. They're like money hungry. They're this big evil corporation. We should just hate SmashGG. And I have some relationships with the SmashGG people. They're great. So I may have a little biases here, and you may like shrug. But honestly, like, these are people that have, you know, poured their heart and soul. They're not really making much money, if anything, and they essentially drop their full-time jobs as engineers, where they could be making a lot more money to help try to make software that could be universally used by the community. One of the big benefits, if I were just to toot their horn a little bit, is the fact that they have a central payment system. This was one of the big things that was an issue back in, like, especially like 2009 to 2012, and even up to the point where SmashGG, you know, became a thing for large tournaments. If you're a TO, it's actually really hard to do pre-registration and gather payments, and while integrating it into tournament software. And SmashGG, for what it's worth, can do all that and integrate everything together. Granted, their bracketing software is not as clean as Challenge. They're still working on it, but for the fact that they have that integrated is actually a huge step forward for TOs of large tournaments. It's something that we now integrate in Super Smash Sundays and Mayhem in our local tournaments. Otherwise, we need dedicated staff to handle signups all day. And if you guys were like at a tournament like Genesis, actually most of day one of that tournament was to handle registration, to handle like 400 people, to handle their payments. So to get rid of that, to make sure that streamlined, is actually a huge benefit. So overall, like, just in regards to donation drives, I can see people getting fatigued by it, because now we're also using it for tipped off 11, and so I can see some growing worries and some growing concerns. But I think as long as the TOs and SmashGG are reasonably transparent with where the money goes, and it's going redistributing back into the community. So even tipped off 11, all that money is being used is for flights, pretty much, and the cost of materials to sell to people. So had it not been for the donation drive for tipped off 11, we probably would never see a chance for players like Ice and None and these other people to fly to that tournament. Otherwise, you know, people would have to do these on their own. So if there's like a top player that's really desired to go to this tournament, they don't have the money, well, we could use SmashGG for that, to organize those funds, make sure that the top player is not pocketing the money in any way. So, but all in all, I think it's pretty good for the community, and for the people that are like skeptical, or they don't want to do it anymore, they feel fatigued. Well, nobody is forcing anybody to use it. So if I don't feel like I want to donate to a tournament's drive, like, I just don't have to. No one's forcing anybody. But at least the option's there, that if you really want to get like a player like Ice to a tournament, we can donate towards that, and we have a medium of doing so. If Genesis wants like a secondary stream or a third stream, or wants some feature that would help everybody, then they could do a donation drive for it, and I think that's pretty cool. I guess the one criticism I could have is that I think people are going to get tired of what's being offered in the shops. I think they could do a better job of it. So I'm hoping that more in the future, more of the top players that, you know, are getting funds could provide services back to the community. So when they do donation drives, you know, on behalf of themselves, like we do very often for like the past Evos and other tournaments, I would hope that more of the top players that are benefiting the most could also serve the community by offering incentive rewards for people that donate a large amount of money. I think the stickers, the hoodies, the wristbands are a little tacky, and I hope that they can continue to think of like new products that I would actually want. But if there's only a criticism there, it would probably be that. But all in all, I'm very in favor of it, in favor of donation drives in general. If you don't like it, you don't have to donate. It's that simple, but at least have the option there. SmashGG, they're a bunch of great people. I hope that people don't see them as this like evil corporation and say like F SmashGG. They're like this like bad group of people. They've done so much. They're a group of smashers that just really love the community and want to see it flourish. So they're building really good software, and one day they will have, you know, metrics of character and stage data, you know, all out for us. So overall, huge benefit. And Smash Summit, donation drive, voting, very messy. It'll probably be its own video, but I'm very excited for the event. I will actually be there doing Tafo stats for you guys. So all in all, it's probably one of the large. I think it's the largest prize pot in Melee history. So once again, thanks to everybody that donated and helped in the drive, although it got very ugly, and I think that's perfectly normal within a competition. Happened during the Evo drive, it tends to happen, and I honestly expected that to happen. But that's my thoughts on these three topics from a monetary standpoint.